Welcome to Pet Allies Adoption Minute, sponsored by Sholo TV. I'm Jill Tinkle, and this is my little co-host, Odie, and he's really excited because it's time for Odie and Nikki's Tip of the Day. So we have Nikki here, and she brought a prop. Well, that's what Odie said, that Shelby's your prop, is that right?
This is my daughter Shelby, and
yes.
She's almost 6 months. So yeah, I bought my own little prop today.
You did.
I did.
And your cheering section and everything. So Odie thought it was important to bring your prop, Shelby, today because, you know, he's in my office all day, and we get an influx of all different kinds of people. I mean, old, new, young, babies, kids, you know, everything, dogs, the whole works. And he's generally pretty good. But I will tell you that kids are something that are a little dicey for him. Okay. So basically where Eddie cuts it off, and we're going to look for some help from you, some tips, is that if they come in and they're still in a carrier, he just thinks they're amazing. Little tiny humans in a box, you know, and it's just amazing. But as soon as they get about where Shelby is, the grabby age, he's like, I don't think so, you know, and then he skips a few years to where he starts liking them again, and that is the age where they can throw his ball for him in the office. Nice. But I think it was because he did get attacked by several kids when he was a puppy in my office, and I think, she has ideas. Shelby has ideas. Okay, Shelby wants to talk, but she can't. So what kind of tips would you have for people, everything, like in your own house or like when you take your baby to an office and there's a dog there? What are some tips?
Yeah, so, I mean, first thing is that we've got to understand that having dogs and babies and toddlers together, it's a lot of work. And you can just see with this, I mean, it's even a lot of work just for me and a baby. But to add a dog to a mix, it takes a lot of work. So the first and most important thing is that the baby and the dog are 100% supervised, always supervised. So we do.
For how long and until what age are you saying always?
I mean, until that child is of an understanding that they can take instruction. So, and at that point, the child has to be able to take instruction that when they're petting the dog, that it's nice and soft, that they don't pull ears, they don't pull tails. Like Shelby here, she's at the age where everything, I mean, she grabs everything. So you can see how she's grabbing my hair. So with Paulie, and that's our dog at home, she actually, you know, if I would let her, she would be pulling on his ears and, you know.
It's a pinching
and it is, too. And it hurts. It does hurt. So I really have to be Paulie's advocate. And so I'm in there constantly supervising. And then, you know, the biggest thing is also I've taught Paulie a lot of things on command, a lot of obedience. So if I tell him to go up on the couch, he'll go up on the couch immediately. If I ask him to come, he'll come. And if I ask him to stay, he'll stay. And that actually makes my life a little bit easier. But it's really not, we can't expect our dogs just to tolerate it. And I think sometimes that can be an issue where we think our dogs just need to be able to tolerate our children doing these things to them. And I said, I can tell you firsthand, it definitely hurts when she grabs.
Yes.
And the other thing too is like children, you know, once they start getting a little bit older than her and they're running around screaming, that's another thing that can be quite scary for a dog. So again, if you're living at home or even if you're in an office, it's allowing that dog somewhere to go where they can get out of the way if they choose to. And then one last thing, it is never to punish a growl. And so when
That's a good point. Boy, go into detail on that one for us.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll keep it real basic just because there's a lot of information on that. And if you want to go onto Google and just put in "don't punish the growl," you'll see a lot of information. But basically, when a dog growls, that dog is just saying, "I'm not happy" or "I'm not comfortable with this situation," and it's really asking that person to get out of his space. And so if we punish the growl, what can happen is that the dog will then just not growl and he could go in for a little bite.
So you have no warning after that then, because I got punished for growling, which is my warning.
Yeah.
That's really great advice. See, that was a good choice to have Nikki on to talk about that.
Biggest things is that don't punish the growl. And it can be scary. It can be scary hearing your dog growl at somebody or growl at your child. You know, that is a scary thing, but as I said, read about it. You can get a lot of information on that. And
that is very, very good advice. I love that.
Yeah,
So Shelby is 6 months old.
She's nearly 6 months.
And it'll be interesting to hear at what age you feel comfortable, because I've got to tell you, I've got a 5-year-old granddaughter and a 3-year-old, and I watch every minute. With both of them.
Yeah, I would say like 7 years old is probably where they can start taking instruction.
Okay, so that's really good advice. And I would guess
7,
that,
but it is individual for the child.
Yeah, I would guess that most of our audience would have said way earlier than that, because I've seen that already. Okay. So it's really great.
Yeah.
This is why Odie brings Nikki here. We thank you today for joining us here on Sholo TV for Pet Allies Adoption Minute. We hope to see you at the shelter.
If you would like more information about the shelter, its monthly events, or to schedule an adoption outside of regular hours, please visit www.PetAlliesAz.org or call the shelter at 928-537-8009.